Highness. How are you?
Everyone, I'm very well. I'm very happy to be here with you today to celebrate, Africa Day. And thank you very much for inviting me and for taking some time to allow me to address, the people who are right now online with us. So it's really a great pleasure and an honor. So
Absolutely.
I'm the queen of the Bakwalinta people. I'm Mukalinga Mukajiwan Kashama, is the queen, female king of the Order of the Leopard, and I'm also queen mother of the African descendants of Brazil.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. So, Your Highness, thank you for honoring us with your presence on such a short notice. You and I were supposed to actually speak on the phone like 2 nights ago, but then I fell asleep, and then it's been a lot going on. You're busy, but we want to say thank you. And before I say the next thing, I want to say my grandchildren's paternal grandparents are from the Congo. my grandchildren speak and understand Lingala.
Wonderful. That's my well,
yes. So, what do you think? What do you want to say to us in the diaspora who are the descendants of kidnapped and enslaved Africans who were forcibly removed from the continent, and now we seek to bring ourselves back home after all these centuries?
I will answer your question immediately. I just have to ask you if we poured libation at the beginning of this whole.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
We didn't pour it. I was ready with my water because our libation is to pour. But thank you. I believe the elder took care of that, so I'm very happy and I'm very proud. I am myself a little bit of an African from all over the world. Born in Belgium, but back then it was not. So my father being from Congo, a diplomat in Belgium. 6 months later, I'm in Kinshasa. Later on in life, I go and live in Europe, so I understand what it is to be a Black woman in Europe. Then after that, I come to America, so I understand what it is to be a Black woman in America and raise Black children in America. And then afterwards, I was called back to go to Congo to get the crown and to be seated on the throne. So I have a bit of an overall experience that's very eclectic, but it's also so interesting because ever since I got to the United States, I learned to be African more in the United States than I was in Africa.
Wow.
But we have to we're very similar, but yet again, we don't really know about it. You just mentioned something very interesting. You said, how would you address, people like me, the children of Africa who were kidnapped and captured, kidnapped, human trafficking that went on and they were taken away and then they were treated, abused, excessively abused, in this new land, so-called new land. To that story, there is the other part that we don't often address. It's the story of the families that are losing their loved ones, being brutally taken away from them. And the societies that we have, the kingdoms that we have, the structures, the civilization, all our knowledge, all our ways of life, all our organization, all the peaceful civilization that we built, all of them be destroyed. So from one end, you have people that are taken away, but on the other hand, you have people from whom people are taken away. Mothers, fathers, children, grandparents, and not only that, it's the complete decay of our community, of our society. Yeah. We have half of our population is taken away. But then the thing is, oftentimes we don't think about what happened over there. So we know a lot about the journey here. Thank God, because you kept the memory going, and we have an obligation to keep the memory alive. It's not to be asking to go back and live in the past, but we have the obligation to know who we are. And in order for us to know who we are, we need to really master the understanding of our journey. On the other side, what happens? People often don't know. They think, you take 2 or 3 of my kids and then what? What happened? I'm just gonna live my life like a normal, I have 2 more kids? No. What happened is that I'm gonna start running with the 3 that I have left to find a safe haven, go inland, go in other places, leave the cities, leave the villages that we knew from our ancestors, try to create a new life, hoping that this will not happen again, and yet it happened again. So we are for hundreds of years, we live like refugees on our own land. We have to understand that. So this is what happened in Africa, because it will help us to understand how to connect back with Africa as well. From that experience, Africa is completely disorganized. And this is what I look at African Americans and African from the historical diaspora as really the original African, because you were obliged, or you were forced to be together and mingle and create harmony regardless of the situation that you find yourself in. You had to be your brother's keeper, your sister's keeper, no matter if she spoke a different language than you did, or had different markings or different hair. You had to compose a new reality with your brothers, your newfound brothers, your newfound family. So for me, I'm very proud to say I'm a Mukwalutu from the Luba Empire, but nevertheless, I look at you as being much more of a complete African, because you comprise all of these groups that were,
Wow.
You really represent what Africa should be like tomorrow.
Wow.
Today. So I understand, the need to go look for where I come from, which tribe, and so on and so forth. But let's not fall into more division. African, from the historical African diaspora, as a right by bloodline to any land in Africa. Not, I'm Ghana, or I'm this, I'm Luba. No. You have a right to any part of the land that were affected by this very traumatic experience, because we everywhere. So what's right now for me as a queen from the Congo, and now queen of the African descendants of Brazil, is that if we're not careful, we're gonna continue the divide. We're gonna have the wealthiest African of the diaspora, which is the African American. Some of the people from the UK going to only some very small area, Nigeria and Ghana, Gambia maybe, because of the language. And yet some divide that was imposed upon us by foreigners. So we be able to accept that we have to go out of our comfort zone to go and reconnect to the ground, no matter where it is. And also to opportunity where it might be a little more difficult, because we have the tools to do so. We come from the greatest line of people, civilization builders in the world. And all groups that you're talking about all originated from Congo, from the Basin, because the Basin of Congo is the birthplace of the Kemetic civilization. Now we have information to know that when Kemet and the pharaohs were looking to Africa, to Central Africa, this is where they were, the Garden of Eden was to them, because this is where they originated from. And we didn't leave out of Congo with nonsense or booga boogas like they tried to portray. We left out of Congo to build the Kemetic civilization with already mastery of a lot of things, including mathematics and science and medicine, astronomy, and so much more. So we find the common denominator, because we have been divided enough. Nigeria does not exist before 1884, 85. Congo does not exist before 1885. Rwanda, Burundi, Kenya, Tanzania, all these are fake countries. Into the hand of the ones who have set up the rules of the game to be the rules of division. This is really where we have to reconnect. So first, know who we are, each other. Know the impact of the human trade, human trafficking that happened on our people here on the so-called New Earth, because it wasn't new to us Africans. Nevertheless, that's another conversation. So we come here 30,000 years after our ancestors already set foot on the ground and already built civilizations here. We come here 30,000 years forcibly. So we go to a brutal ordeal, and we are still going on today. Today, I talk with my heart very heavy from knowing what happened to a brother who was arrested, put down on the floor, stepped on until he choked and died, and we playing it over and over in social media like if it's public lynching. And it's like, just another common day in America. So this is where we're coming from. We're coming from this experience. And then we're coming from the experience on the African continent where we suffer brutally still from half of our people from having an anemia, social anemia, cultural anemia, and emotional problems because we lost half of our people. And that set us back so far and got us so weak that people now colonize us and preyed on us until today. A mother is burying her child in Africa as well, either because of violence, either because of excessive exploitation in the mining, or because they don't have 3 pills for malaria, or because they just are in a society where there's no freedom. This is all the consequence of the same exact event. So those are just 2 faces of the same event. And before I let you, I know that you have to give back the mic to our brothers who are, doing a wonderful job with the poetry and really, rallying the forces. I have to say, I grew up in Congo. I did all my elementary school and some of my middle school, high school in Congo. I had maybe 1 class talking about the human trafficking period of 400 years. That it's not a topic of conversation.
That's awful.
We don't know about it. After 1885, the Belgians who took Congo and all the Europeans did the same and told people never to talk about what happened for the centuries before. And if they did, they could get killed. Some people, because they wanted to pass the story to tell their children that their family got blown apart. The people left and went into a world, an unknown world, and we never them. And if you dare to say the story, you risk your life and you risk the life of the person you told the story to. So we didn't have a right to know our own history. Many don't even know that the African who are here in America, Brazil, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, they don't know they come from Africa. Everybody's not like Ghana. Everybody is not like Senegal, making a lot of effort because they see the opportunity and they have the connection with the language. If you go to Angola, if you go to Congo, if you go to Gabon, so they don't know unless you have really educated and you've been exposed to this information. Majority of the population do not know that you are a descendant of their ancestors. There's a lot of information work that we need to do. We need to do a reconciliation, but first and foremost, we need to do healing. Because we never were able to mourn our departed ones. We were left with an empty space in our heart, in our mind, figure what happened, and then on top of that, they imposed amnesia onto an entire people. So we in the Western world, we have the power to ask for this reconciliation. We have the power, we have the knowledge, we have the meaning. So we have to take on the big role of going towards our brothers and sisters in Africa and to work with, so they understand and they recover the memory and they make the space so we can welcome you. Because if we don't do things the right way, what I don't want is for you to come back home and then for you to now start having a ghetto type of life where on one side there is the African descendant from the ancient diaspora, and then on the other side there is the African from the continent. We cannot afford to lose this opportunity because this reunion will give us the strength and the might to restore ourselves and to really highlight the essential values of our ancestors, the values that when we built the most amazing civilization that has never been equaled till this day. Have to also be careful not to look at Africa and thinking that we will come there and we will show them how we do this. What is do when we go to Africa? You just want to become another millionaire, another billionaire, and then what? We have very wise to not make the same mistake and to precipitate Africa in the abyss of this insanity that we call so-called civilization today. Absolutely. How to play a guardianship role, a custodian role, and tell our brothers on the continent that it's important we preserve our culture, we preserve our languages, we preserve our knowledge, we restore our knowledge, we restore the ownership on what Africa has accomplished and Africa has contributed to the world. We have to do that for our identity and for us to gain the strength and the velocity that we need to create this synergy. So my job, all since I've been crowned in 2016 and sat on the throne as female king of the Lutu people of the Order of the Leopard in 2017. And my work has been essentially going towards the diaspora to really talk to each other about our history. To let you know, when you left, it wasn't a good old day in Africa. When our people, Africa fell on her knees, and that's why she was able to be kicked and kicked and kicked over and over, because we became so anemic that we went to fight for. And also, let's unite. Let's not create more division that we need. Of the diaspora, the historical diaspora, you are the prototype of the African that we need to see tomorrow. We don't need borders anymore. I don't want to see Congo, Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Nigeria. We don't need them. They are causing us. They will put them purposely. All these so-called tribes. We never had tribes in Africa. All we have is family names. Those are family. When they say Ashanti or Luba, those are family names. They're not tribe people. We exactly the same people. We believe the same thing. We eat almost the same thing. Africa is one of the places that has a lot of cohesion. So we have to take effect, get it. We'd love to know eventually where we come from. And if you are very careful, you will see that the dates on these DNA tests are not more than 200 years or maybe 3. But those are not from the beginning of time. So there's been so many mixing between us from the origin, and we have to be ones who say stop. Today, Africa doesn't have the ability to unite. We in the diaspora can show them how to do it, because you know what? Our ancestors did it. And so thank you so much.
All right, man, guys. Woo!